Reducing carbs can be a game changer for weight loss. And as a nutritionist, I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of people help to break through a weight loss plateau by reducing certain types of carbohydrates. But there does come a point in a weight loss journey when adding carbs back in can not only be beneficial, but actually might be necessary. However, it is a fine balance. You want to make sure that you're adding carbs in at the right time and in the right amounts. So to help clarify things, I'm sharing the 5 clear signs that you probably need to start adding carbs back into your diet, as well as what that will do to your body and how to actually add those carbs back in to see best results. Let's dive into it. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's nutrition human performance. On my channel, I share the science-backed and delicious information to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness dreams without counting calories. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Today's video is also sponsored by Element, but more on them in a bit. Okay, so first off, why increase carbs at all? Because if it's working out for you to reduce carbs and remove them altogether, then doesn't it make sense to just continue to reduce or remove those carbohydrates? Not actually. And that's for 3 main reasons. The first is muscle recovery. As part of a lot of people's weight loss journeys, they are usually adding in or increasing some type of exercise. And carbs are uniquely beneficial for helping the body to recover post-workout. It helps provide the carbohydrates that literally refuel the muscles after you've drained it of all of its carbohydrate stores. And having your muscles properly topped off with fuel is very important for actually seeing the best results out of your workouts and for actually feeling energized and preventing burnout. Without it can lead to overtraining, reduced output, plateau, or possibly even weight gain. And this can range from a lot of different types of exercises, from HIIT to endurance to even strength training. The second is better sleep. When properly balanced with eating enough protein, fat, and fiber, adding in some high quality starches from carbohydrates can actually help improve sleep quality, which is very important for muscle recovery, but also for balancing hormones that are crucial for energy as well as fat loss. When we get proper sleep, we have reduced hunger hormone ghrelin the next day. We have better balanced cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone. We also don't have as much insulin resistance the next day, all of which makes us feel better and see better results. And the third reason is that we get more fiber. Now, technically, fiber is not an essential nutrient. That is true. You do not have to eat fiber in order to survive. However, it does not mean that you don't need fiber in order to thrive. Those are 2 completely different things. You can get a lot of fiber from non-carbohydrate containing foods or very low carbohydrate containing foods, things like avocado and chia seeds and edible basil seeds. But there are also other super potent sources of fiber like beans and lentils. And eating more fiber can really help you feel full and satisfied, which makes it so much easier to achieve a fat loss goal. Eating more fiber helps to raise our satiety hormone GLP-1, which is the same satiety hormone that weight loss medications like Ozempic is targeting. It also helps to act on the stretch mechanism in our stomach that also helps us feel full and satisfied. But on top of that, it is very helpful for reducing inflammation in the gut, because when we have fiber, it feeds the good gut bacteria, which then produces butyric acid. And that butyric acid helps to make a really anti-inflammatory environment for the gut. So bumping up our carbs from some of these fiber-rich foods helps us to see not only the additional fat loss benefits, but the overall wellness benefits too. That all being said, none of this matters if your body is not actually ready to tolerate more carbohydrates. Increasing your carbs too soon or from the wrong sources could actually make it so much harder to lose fat and can really increase your cravings, which ultimately just makes it an uphill battle when working toward a weight loss goal. Which is why it's so important to know the clear signs that your body is ready to take on some more carbs. But before we do that, I want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Element. Element is my favorite electrolyte company. They were created with intermittent fasting, low carb eating, and athletes in mind. Element actually contains the sodium, magnesium, and potassium to help replace lost electrolytes, all without having any sugar. Especially if you have recently switched to eating less carbs, or if you're using intermittent fasting, it is pretty common to need more electrolytes, making it so important to properly hydrate with both water and electrolytes. That way we feel our best, we feel more energized, and we're just able to function at our highest capacity, including with workouts. I've been using Element for 4 years now. Because I'm a nutritionist, I know how important taking electrolytes is. So before I knew about Element, I would just take salt, and I was super inconsistent with it because it just doesn't taste good to add salt into your water. But then I became aware of Element, which thank God, because now I'm actually able to consistently take my electrolytes because Element tastes so dang good, which makes it really easy to remember to take it and therefore see the benefits of taking electrolytes. My all-time favorite flavor is their grapefruit salt, but Element comes in a lot of other delicious flavors too, like raspberry, orange, and citrus. They even have a chocolate flavor that is really great to have with hot water too. And you can get a free 8-count sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase at drinkelement.com/autumn. Find your favorite Element flavor or share it with a friend. This is only available through my link, so make sure to check out drinklmnt.com/autumn. The link is also in the description down below. Okay, so these are the 5 signs that your body's not only probably ready to take on more carbs, but might actually need more carbs. And the first is that you've either hit or you're very close to achieving your weight loss goal. Carbs are typically the least satiating food, which means that we feel the least satisfied when we eat it. That's one of the main reasons why reducing your carbohydrate intake when you're on a weight loss journey is so helpful for accelerating your results. Plus, a lot of high carb foods can worsen insulin resistance if that's something that you're currently struggling with, which is why people generally do better reducing carbohydrates, especially from those medium and high glycemic load carbs when they're on a weight loss journey. But when you've done a weight loss journey right and you've really focused on the fat loss portion specifically, which is exactly what we talk about all the time on my channel and in my body recomposition program, once you've hit your weight loss goal, likely the body is a lot more insulin sensitive. And if you've done it right, you've probably either maintained or even slightly increased your muscle mass too. This combination makes it so that the body is much more ready to actually take on and handle and process those carbohydrates. Okay, the second clear sign is that you're suddenly getting really poor sleep. Now, this could be a sign of too low carbohydrates for certain people, especially if you're also exercising while you're on a weight loss journey, because suddenly getting poor sleep consistently could be a sign of overtraining and not properly refueling your body after that workout. And carbs can be helpful for not only refueling your muscles with those carbohydrates, but when you balance it properly, it can also help to raise the sleep hormone melatonin. It is a fine balance though. Having too many carbohydrates can actually make your sleep quality worse by causing a spike and a crash in blood sugar levels, because if you have a crash in the middle of the night, it can cause your body to raise that stress hormone cortisol and wake you up. So it's definitely a fine balance, and you need to make sure that you're adding in the right amount at the right time from the right types of carbohydrates, which we'll get into in just a second. Okay, the third clear sign is that you don't crave sugar, or at least you don't really crave it all the time. Sugar cravings are often a sign of unstable blood sugar levels, and if you currently have unstable blood sugar levels, adding more carbohydrates, especially from starchy sources, could really just make this situation worse. The goal is to make sure that we first stabilize blood sugar levels by focusing on protein, fat, and fiber-rich foods, make sure that we've gotten the body to more insulin-sensitive state and can handle the carbohydrates better before we then add in some of those more starchy carbs. So if you used to crave sugar a lot and now for a while you haven't craved sugar and you're seeing some of these other signs like you're at or you're close to your weight loss goal, then that could be a sign that you are ready to take on more starchy carbs. The fourth clear sign is kind of an optional but a really useful one, and it's that your blood sugar levels are stable and your fasting insulin is low. Now, this does require some lab work, some data, which is why I'm putting it in the optional category, but it can be really useful. Seeing a combination of stable blood sugar levels and low fasting insulin is a really good sign that your body is probably processing carbs efficiently and ready to possibly take on a little bit more carbohydrates. However, if blood sugar is off the chart, if you're getting these really big spikes and crashes, and if your fasting insulin is high, that shows your body probably is not tolerating carbs very well, and therefore you probably shouldn't increase carbs at this point. Now, you can get this data with something like a finger prick test, or you can use a continuous blood glucose monitor. Ideally, you'd want to see these results for at least a week, if not 2 weeks, so you can get a clear idea of how your body is responding. And then you could also ask your doctor for a fasting insulin test. If you haven't done this in the past, it's actually a really good idea to do it anyway, because it can be an early indicator of your risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, you can get both the CGM as well as the fasting insulin test done through a really amazing company called Levels. I actually just did a full blood panel with them, got my own fasting insulin results from them, and I've done CGM with them in the past. So if you want to check them out, I will have the link down in the description below. Okay, the fifth clear sign is that you're plateauing at the gym or possibly even seeing muscle loss. Now, this could be a really big sign that you're not properly refueling, and therefore your body is not able to properly recover from the workouts that you're doing. Overall, this can make it so that you're not seeing the results you want from your workouts, or you're actually seeing a reversal of those results and muscle loss. Now, if you've assessed that your body probably needs to eat a little bit more carbs, there's a 5-step process that I personally did, and it first starts off with adding in 1 serving of a medium or a high glycemic load carb to one of your meals. I would preferably start with dinner so you can get the benefits of a higher quality sleep, and ideally stick to more of the medium glycemic load carbs. These are more blood sugar stabilizing, and that would include something like 1 cup of chickpeas, 1 cup of black beans, or maybe a small sweet potato. And I kind of already said this, but the second step is to have it specifically at dinner, again, so we can get those sleep benefits. The third step is make sure that you're pairing it with high quality sources of protein, fat, and fiber. You don't want to change up those meals. You don't want to remove anything. You're just adding in the starch. You still need the really blood sugar stabilizing benefits of each of those protein, fat, and fibers. We're just now adding in that additional component of a starch. The fourth step is to do this every day for about a week and see how your body responds. See if your sleep is improving, if your exercise is improving. If so, then this might be a sign that your body really did need those carbs, and you could either maintain just having that one serving at dinner, or you could test out having another serving at lunch and repeat that process. However, if you notice that you're gaining weight and you're not actually feeling better, then your body probably didn't need those carbs and might not be ready for them, and you can just simply remove it. And then the fifth step is to repeat this process until you find that balance of carbohydrates that works for your body, at least at this point, because remember, the body's always changing and you might need to either increase or decrease later in the future depending on where your body's at. Now, it's really important that you do use high quality sources. Otherwise, if you add in starches from lower quality foods, from things like tortilla chips or white rice, then this could just quickly reverse your progress and make you not feel so great. So I do have a full complete breakdown of the glycemic load, the low, medium, and high categories, the ones that you'll want to look for. I'll have that link down description below if you guys want to check that out. And if you are on a weight loss journey, I highly recommend you check out my video on exactly what I did to lose 20 pounds postpartum. I break it down in extreme detail of what I was doing with my exercise as well as with my meals. So you can check that video next right here. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.